There are now a total of 2,755 billionaires in the world. Of these, China boasts nearly one-third of the world's total at 819. The majority of the rest of the world's richest people mostly live in a select few countries such as the United States and India. Interestingly, countries who host the most billionaires also tend to be the countries who deal with the most income inequality. Today, we're going to be taking a look at how much money billionaires have made during the past 18 months of lockdown and why. So let's start at the beginning. Before COVID struck at the beginning of last year, it's estimated there were around 2,100 billionaires globally. But thanks to the pandemic, that figure increased by around 500 to 600. Individually, most of these almost 3,000 people, 86% of them to be exact, became astonishingly wealthier during these trying times for the rest of us. This year, the world's billionaires list includes a record-breaking 2,755 billionaires, as we mentioned above, with 660 people joining the list who were not on it in 2020. Of those 660, the addition of 40 new billionaires on the list can be attributed to their business activities related to fighting COVID-19, or their investments in companies providing coronavirus-related services. Now let's jump straight in, look at what exactly these business activities are. Of the 40 people on the list of COVID billionaires, maybe unsurprisingly, 14 are from China, widely believed to be where the virus originated, meaning it was the first to require PPE and other equipment, with another person from Hong Kong. The rest of the list is made up of 9 Americans, 5 Canadians, 4 people from India, 3 from Germany, and 1 each from France, Italy, Japan, and Spain. Some people on the list, such as Moderna CEO Stéphane Bancel and BioNTech co-founder Ugur Sahin, have become household names in the last year thanks to the vaccines their firms have helped to develop. Others made their billions from making protective equipment, PPE, testing equipment, antibody treatments, software that assists vaccination campaigns, and the infrastructure and packaging needed to deliver such products, all of which are essential for countries to fight COVID-19, save lives, and rebuild their economies. These 40 new billionaires have a combined wealth of around $78 billion, cashing in at around $2 billion each on average. Li Jianquan, the president of Chinese medical products manufacturer Winner Medical, is the richest of the 40 new COVID billionaires. His company increased the production of masks and medical overalls supplied to frontline medical workers around the world. Winner Medical's initial public offering, IPO, on the Shenzhen stock market instantly made the 64-year-old Jianquan, based Hong Kong, a multi-billionaire thanks to his 68% stake in the company, now worth $6.8 billion. In the case of some vaccine companies, their success over the past years resulted in multiple billionaires being created within the same company. 4 new entrants are from Moderna, and another 4 are from Jinshin-based CanSino Biologics, which saw its one-shot vaccine approved by Chinese regulators in February this year. Those at companies that are mass-producing vaccines have also seen large profits, as have people within research firms that have helped run clinical trials. Such activities have created new fortunes for people such as Juan Lopez Belmonte Lopez of Spanish pharma outfit Rovi and Karen Sartorius Erps, and Ulrike Barrow of German biopharma firm Sartorius AG. 3 professors, Timothy Springer of the Harvard Medical School, Carl Hansen of the University of British Columbia, and Robert Langer at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, also made the list, thanks to their stakes in vaccine companies or founding of biotech firms. Timothy Springer is a professor of biological chemistry and molecular pharmacology and was a founding investor in Moderna, whose vaccine has been approved for use in the US, Canada, UK, European Union, Israel, and Singapore. He has a 3.5% stake in Moderna, while Professor Langer has a 3% stake and also helped found it in 2010, while Professor Hansen is the founder and CEO of Canadian biotech firm AbCellera. Some people will inevitably begrudge these owners and CEOs profiting from such misery, but at the same time, their firms are saving lives, so it's a bit of a catch-22 situation. What do you guys think? What about billionaires who are not directly related to pharma? Collectively, the world's billionaires have seen their bank balance rise by around $5 trillion to $13 trillion during the past year. Not bad if you are one of them, right? People like Jeff Bezos, founder of Amazon, saw his wealth grow by around $63 billion to a whopping $177 billion due to the huge growth in demand for online shopping since the pandemic first hit. Google pair Larry Page and Sergey Brin also saw massive profits at the surge in internet use due to people being stuck at home saw increased revenue in ads. The CEO of Tesla and SpaceX, Elon Musk, saw his net worth rise by 197% from March 18 to August 13 last year, according to analysis by the left-leaning think tank Institute for Policy Studies. Musk's net worth grew even more over one particular week last August. He added nearly $8 billion to his fortune on one day alone, making him the fourth richest person on the planet and bringing his net worth percentage increase since March 18 to today up to a whopping 246%. Next, a look at inequality. The pandemic has reignited the debate over inequality, with nations like Argentina adopting a wealth tax and other similar proposals gaining traction in the United States. In the US, many Americans have more personal income and savings than they had before the pandemic, thanks in part to unprecedented government stimulus checks. But at the same time, demand for food pantries smashed records and the economy shed about 10 million jobs. Billionaire philanthropists have played center stage in America's recovery. Perhaps no statistic better encapsulates the scale of the yawning inequality than the case of Mackenzie Scott, former wife of Jeff Bezos and one of the wealthiest people in the world. Scott probably gave more money away directly to nonprofits in 2020 than any person has in a single year ever before. Yet because of Amazon's surging stock price, she actually ended the year richer. The tech set, like Scott, fared particularly well. 6 of the world's 10 richest people made their money in tech, and the total assets controlled by all tech billionaires globally measures $2.5 trillion, far more than any other industry. Neither of those figures includes Tesla and SpaceX founder Elon Musk, who's classified by Forbes as in the automotive industry, but has ridden Tesla's extraordinary bull run to become the second richest person in the world. Rich get richer, the poor get poorer. Bezos and other billionaires have grown wealthier through a combination of several trends. First, the stock market has reached record heights on expectations that the economy will experience a strong rebound in 2021. And some businesses, such as Bezos' Amazon, have profited as people switch their behaviors amid the pandemic, boosting online services, for example, as we mentioned earlier. At the same time, poverty rates have increased due to hardship created by the pandemic, with the worst effects felt by women and people of color. The number of people living in poverty globally doubled to more than 500 million during the first 9 months of the pandemic, the anti-poverty group Oxfam said in January. In the US, about 4 in 10 people said their household income remains impacted by the crisis, whilst people like Musk, Bezos, and Zuckerberg continue to increase their profits. An unprecedented 56 million Americans filed for unemployment benefits last year, almost 20 million more than after the 2008 financial crisis. So is it time for a wealth tax? Various wealth taxes have been proposed in recent years, partly in response to widening inequality. Among them are American Senator Elizabeth Warren's ultra-millionaire tax, introduced earlier this month with Representatives Pramila Jayapal and Brendan Boyle. All 3 are Democrats. Their plan would levy a 2% annual tax on the net worth of households and trusts between $50 million and $1 billion, while adding another 1% tax to fortunes above $1 billion. In all, billionaires would pay an additional 3% annually on their wealth under this plan. If such a tax had been in place last year, global billionaires would have paid $345 billion in wealth taxes. Applied only to U.S. billionaires, it could raise $1.5 trillion over the next decade, IPS estimated. It makes sense that the infrastructure investments to revitalize the U.S. economy should be paid by closing corporate tax loopholes that incentivize shipping jobs overseas, Collins said. It truly is a build the U.S. economy package, but he added, a wealth tax will be one of the options for future revenue, along with other provisions to ensure that wealthy individuals pay their fair share of income and estate taxes. Wealth taxes are not a new idea. There have been plenty of calls before to insert them into government legislation in countries around the world. Maybe now, with so many people on their knees and on the verge of utter devastation, will government say that enough is enough, that it's long past time that the world's billionaires paid their fair share in taxes? What do you think about this topic? Is it fair that there have been more billionaires created whilst most of the population have suffered for the past 18 months?